Hey guys, Jasmine here. It has been a long time since I made a video. Um, yeah, it really has been. And I'm working on another one of my PD 101 videos, my educational videos. My next one is going to be a pretty big undertaking. And so it's taking some time. But I haven't been able to just have a stream of consciousness type video where I just talk about kind of things that are going on. And I think that's in part because of my speech. So that's a big thing that's going on right now. My speech has been getting drastically worse lately. If you're listening closely, you might hear it a little bit. Um, and so, Gosh, I gave this talk, um, and um, part of the way through, somebody said, can you slow down a bit? We're having trouble hearing. And my words were just all jumbling together, and I couldn't control it very well, and I was talking too fast and without good diction, and I just couldn't stop. All the sentences roll together, and I tend to talk down kind of in a lower register, kind of like this right here. You hear that? Like that. That's what I guess my speech therapist is calling glottal fry. Anyways, no, I'm actively trying to not do that. Um, so I started speech therapy. I finally said enough. I'm tired. And so I'm tired of, not being able to be understood. And so I started speech therapy, and it's been great. I had 2 weeks ago, I had the, trial, the first meeting, where they evaluate you. And then on Friday, it's Sunday right now, on Friday I had the first actual, speech therapy session. And I found, the best speech therapist ever. She's super great. And she really cares about the PD community, and that really means a lot to me. And, she is really helping me work on all these things. And it's really interesting because she's saying that, it's a vagus nerve thing, that I don't have that, control. Um, and that really makes sense to me because my vagus nerve is trashed, hence the paralyzed digestive tract. You know. That's all been good. Things have been going really good on that end. I've been on TPN for 6 weeks, 7 weeks now, or something like that. And I've gained 14 pounds. That's really exciting. I'm finally starting to grow out of the children's department. I'm just feeling so much more alive. I'm feeling my mental processes just wake up for the first time. And I mean, I've been starving for about a year and a half now. And so that's really been difficult. And then the J tube didn't work. It's just been really, really difficult. And so I'm finally feeling like myself. And I'm feeling sort of my ambitions come back a lot. For a while there, have you ever heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs? And the whole point of it is it's like a pyramid, and self-actualization being at the top. And at the bottom is food, water, and shelter. And I was missing two of those things, really. Food and water, pretty much. Wasn't able to get an adequate amount of either for a year and a half. And when you're starving, you really can't think of anything else. You can't plan for anything else because your basic need is just not being met, and that's all you can really focus on. And now that that's being met, the whole world is opening up again. And so that's really exciting. Then there's back to speech therapy. Speech therapy is just one of the many things that I'm doing right now to get back onto that path of stability. I really see stability in the horizon in about a year. Which sounds like a really long time, but considering what I have to do until then, it's really not. I have to gain 10 more pounds on TPN, and I have to just stay healthy on TPN, stay infection free and risk, complication free, and I have to, get my life organized with TPN and tube feeds, and get better at that, and get stronger. And I have to get my pain under control. I see pain management on Tuesday. My pain is completely out of control to the point where I'm almost in tears at the end of some days. And I take a fairly significant amount of pain medication already. It's just, it's so bad. And the reason that I have trouble walking sometimes at the end of the day should not be because of pain. Not when there's things they can do about it. But luckily I have a really amazing pain doctor. But when I started pain management, I didn't realize that it was going to be like a long process. I thought it'd be like a once or twice and we'd have our regimen and go. But really it's seeing my pain management doctor every 6 weeks. And really keeping it a log of how things are going, and so he knows what to change and what to tweak and what to add. And you can only change, tweak, or add one thing at a time, really. You can't do both, or like, do everything, because then you don't know what's doing what. It's a scientific method, and so I think he's got me on the right track. I'm also trying to get sort of my pain meds, hopefully, to be, medication that's not processed by my digestive tract, because it's just not doing so hot these days. So some days things just don't work. And I'm also trying to find some sort of Parkinson's drug that is outside of the digestive tract as well. I'm already on Nupro, but it's not doing enough. It's just an agonist. I need levodopa. Somehow I need levodopa that is not a pill. Working on it. I'm talking to some really smart doctors, and I'm going to figure out a solution for that. There exists one somewhere. And so the other thing I do is I'm having surgery. It's already scheduled for October 20th. I think it's the 20th. Late October. And if they have a cancellation in August, I'm going to take it. If not, then we'll do it in October. But it's put in a separate J tube. I have something called the GJ, and so it's like the G tube gastrostomy, and then jejunectomy is J tube. And so GJ, meaning it starts in the stomach, it's like a G tube in the stomach, and I have one port, I have a double port, a double lumen. And so the one lumen is to vent my stomach, and the other lumen is to, it goes all the way down through my stomach into my jejunum, which is the second portion of my intestine. And so the thing about those is they're hard to replace. They require endoscopic procedure to replace. And I've had mine flip up into my stomach, which is a disaster each time. And my doctor is very worried that it's going to happen again. And so he thinks that my quality of life will be drastically improved by having a separate J tube, because I'll be able to replace the tubes eventually. I mean, not for the first tube, because the first tube has to be a certain type that's like sutured in, but eventually I'll be able to replace it, and I'll have 2 button tubes, which will be really great instead of this one gigantic honker of a tube, which is good because I'm going to need J-axis forever, pretty much. So that's on the horizon, and that's a huge step towards stability. And so then that, and getting my speech under control. My voice is already tired from talking all this time. And I feel myself seeping into that lower register that's very, like, guttural. And I don't want to keep having to, like, get exhausted every time I speak. And really it's just about, like, redeveloping the control of my larynx. And so that's all just really interesting and exciting. I'm very excited to be able to, like, start being able to speak. Well, like I used to. And it's also interesting because we're talking about singing. So I was a singer until I was 15, really. I stood singing my entire life, and in middle school, I started taking classical lessons, singing opera. I was a soprano. I loved it. It was my life. And then the disease hit when I was 14. I couldn't stand for practices. I couldn't, it was really hard. I didn't have the breath support to, like, push air out anymore. And now I haven't sung, like classical stuff in ages. And, like, now as I'm doing speech therapy, I'm realizing that I just don't have that control that I used to have such good control of. I used to sing opera songs that would go all over, up and down, it was fine. And now I can barely, like, go from one note to the next. And so that's really interesting. It's really interesting. It's the vagus nerve thing. It's kind of cool to be working on that, because It's kind of bringing back a lot of that classical training. That's kind of cool. It's kind of fun to see how some of all that was the same as what speech therapy is being right now. And so I've been doing the practice exercises at home, and I'm really excited to see how maybe, I'll probably look back on some of the videos that I've taken over time and see how they change with speech therapy. And so that's really exciting. But yeah, this is where I am right now. Things are moving forward. They really are. It's taken me like 7.5 years to get here to where I have finally just an amazing team of specialists. My specialists are in 4 different counties, and they are, all over here, and they're great, and they work together, and they treat my body as a whole and not just like a textbook. And I really wish I could give my team to everybody, but they have been really, really good to me. And so we're working forward and we're moving forward, and like now I'm starting to see stability. I'm starting to think about science and medicine again. Like, the world is opening up. I'm just working on being patient. And in the meantime, I got a new backpack. So things are looking up. Alright, thanks for watching. This was sort of my latest here's where I'm at video right now. And I'll keep going, and I'm working on my next PD 101. And I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.